Bonjour, Kinamagian and Ireland Indigenous, and welcome to the final episode of the calendar year 2024, our Week at a Glance video featuring week 17. We will begin in our Google Classroom, and remember this is accessible by your students using their @sagchipschool.net email addresses. This page will always include newsletters, including today's, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Some previous content, a note about our book fair, which continues on through Saturday. And down here are breakfast and lunch menus, and we'll have January's posted probably today, to be honest with you. So let's go ahead and begin with our newsletter. So tomorrow, weather dependent, of course, we'll be viewing A Christmas Carol. We read the book, and now we're going to compare it to the movie. I did send home a passive permission slip that only needs to be returned if they cannot watch the video. It's rated PG because of scary scenes, which I interpret to mean because it has ghosts in the story. Because it is a holiday, I'm going to allow for treats. You are not obligated to bring one in. I'm going to bring some juice. But if you do choose to send in a treat, there are 11 students and 3 adults in our class. I just ask that you provide enough for at least the students. You know, teachers are bonus, but students are the ones I care about. If you have a special gift that your student wants to give to a friend or family member in the class, I ask that it just be done outside of the classroom, preferably outside of the building. We really want to be sensitive to everyone's emotions and this time of year. And 4 people get a gift from their best friend, they leave some others left out. The Scholastic Book Fair, as I mentioned, is continuing on in our lounge. We had a great turnout last night for our winter program, which, by the way, I will say Chivigwech to all of the families that came out last night for that. There are Saturday hours, 11 to 3, and then it's still open right now at here at Weemajiquad. If you're coming on Saturday, come in the main doors as if you're going to the principal's office, and it's going to be on the right-hand side. I'm sure the door will be open. Literacy, over the next couple weeks, I am encouraging students to read 20 minutes a day. That's pretty much the norm, and write 10 minutes per day. They should read and write in their interests. I'm not worried about it being school-related in any way, shape, or form. And in addition, there are resources, and I'm going to bring that up here on this screen right now. The activity pass, if you put in a place, I put it near 25 minutes to Mount Pleasant, you got some places. Now, some of these never really require a cost, and Bundy Hill in the snow may not be ideal, but there's things that Chippewa, Black Creek Forest, Chippewa Nature Center, all you have to do is click on it and you can get the pass to visit. And you don't have to limit yourself to the area of Mount Pleasant if you happen to be going towards Bay City or Grand Rapids or Hamtramck or Wolverine. You can search for areas and opportunities up there. I know after 2 weeks, the kids are stir crazy, the parents are stir crazy. That's something you can do. Speaking of things they can do, don't forget this Learn from Home Padlet. Students can learn a little bit of language or play around with some of our resources. You can kind of see as I scroll down the math, work on times tables. That would be a good one. And kind of give them a little something to do in between gaming and eating all of the food in the house. Well, at least the second one is my plan. So there's that. But this is a good resource. Feel free for kids to check it out. If you have any questions or they forgot a login or password, send me an email. I will be more than happy to take a look at it and send it. I am generally accessible via email over break. And I mentioned the Padlet right there. So after school on Friday begins our winter break. We don't return until January 6th. That's a Monday, so it's a full 2 weeks off. While I have mentioned some things you can do, it's also great for students to get a little family time, and a little relaxation. I think that's very important as well. Homework is a normal part of our experience. There is a homework folder that they should be bringing home, including today, and that should come back and forth to the school. It has their name on it. It's a dark blue, and it's kind of help with responsibility, but it's also the work they need to finish and send back. Ask for it. I'm not going to provide any homework packets over break. In my experience, it never comes back. So there will be a homework assignment tonight, and a number of papers that will be coming home, including the January lunch menu, this newsletter, and then the homework and whatever else I end up with here to send home for you. Send it back each day. My advice is put it right back in their backpack so they have this kind of down pat before they enter middle school. By the way, we have now visited all the middle schools, and if you've made up your mind and it's your local school district, you can start the paperwork process there, although they may or may not have that already going. If you're considering Renaissance, you should probably get the enrollment papers sooner than later. They do fill up and end up with a waiting list. If you're not sure between Renaissance and one of the local public schools, you can go ahead and get those papers, and you can always change your mind later. If you're going to do school of choice to another local district, please inquire with them for their windows for that. You can see that when we come back, first week is normal, although the second quarter ends on Friday of our return. Then we have a 4-day week, 2 4-day weeks with that 4-day weekend in the middle there. That second week back, we'll begin our testing. We'll talk about that in our premiere episode of 2025. What are we learning? When we come back, we'll be working on multiplying and dividing decimals. Students would benefit from multiplication flashcards. I know I put that in there all the time, but it really would help. In language arts, we'll be engaging a unit on Earth, Sky, and Space. It's meant to complement what we'll be doing in science as we look at Earth and space patterns. Social studies, we'll be looking at significant colonial locations such as Plymouth, Roanoke, and Jamestown. You can see our language corner at the bottom. Some words that generally would come out of loosely related to what we're studying in class, or the cultural calendar, or frankly, the other calendar. And finally, our learning plan for when we come back. It's a good tool to look at with your student if you want to engage in conversation. Say, well, how was the lesson on Roanoke, for instance? This is subject to change, and frankly, it changes quite often with any kind of snow days, or a lesson goes quicker, a lesson takes longer. We do tweak these as necessary. Being the final episode of 2024, I want to, share that I'm thankful for all of you. I hope everyone has a blessed holiday break. Safe travels to those of you that are going to far off locations to visit family or friends. I look forward to hearing about the great adventures as we go. If you have any questions, do reach out to me. The best way is going to be the mireland@scitechip.org. I will be checking that every day. It does come to my phone, so if you have a question about login information, I generally see it pretty quick. If I'm working at the other job, or if I'm with family, it might take a little bit longer to return, but generally it will be the same day. With that being said, I hope everyone has a Minogizhigad, a wonderful holiday break, and we'll see you again in 2025. Mama P.